boys and girls, and welcome to Miss Floyd's Stream class. We began our first project, no, I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, by building some background knowledge about Canada. Two important things that I wanted you to take away from our last class. One, what's the symbol on the Canadian flag? And two, what toy that made the century's top 100 list did we see a little video about? Find out the history of that. The knowledge of that will come up in the book we will start out reading called Michelle's MVP Award. So sit back and listen. Hi, Tim. Michelle greeted her older brother as he walked into the kitchen. He set down his hockey gear and smiled. Hey, Michelle, Tim said, ready for practice? Almost ready, she said. I have to make a maple leaf. Michelle grabbed the bag of Play-Doh she'd made earlier. She made a Play-Doh maple leaf before every hockey practice. The maple leaf was the name and symbol for the school team Michelle and Tim played on, just like the professional hockey team, the Toronto Maple Leafs. After every practice, Michelle let Coach Belcher give her maple leaf to the most valuable player, the MVP. Who do you think Coach Belcher will give your MVP award to today? Tim asked as Michelle flattened the dough. Here we go. I bet you'll get it, Michelle said. You're the best player on the team. Thanks, said Tim, but I bet Coach Belcher will give you the award today. You've been playing really well. I'm getting better, Michelle said. Some of the kids still think I can't play. Jason thinks I'm bad. Why would you say that? Asked Tim. I bet he thinks you're doing a great job. Michelle shook her head no. Michelle and Jason were in the same class. Sometimes when she had trouble reading, she thought Jason looked at her funny. Michelle had been born with Down syndrome. Usually being different didn't bother Michelle. Mom and Dad always told her that everyone is different. That's what makes every person special. Michelle didn't mind asking for help with things like reading or hockey. Once in a while, though, she wished she didn't feel quite so different. At least I never need help with art, Michelle thought. I am good at making Play-Doh and cutting out shapes. She looked at the cookie cutters on the counter and thought about how proud she felt the first time she made a maple leaf for her team. Now she could make all kinds of animals and plants. Michelle noticed Tim watching her cut out the leaf. Do you want to try? She asked. There's that brother of hers. Tim looked at the dough and the cookie cutters in front of him. I guess so, he said, but I don't know what to do. It's easy, Michelle said. She held up her leaf for him to see and then put it in a plastic bowl so she could carry it to practice. Tim grabbed some of the dough and rolled it between his hands. Why do you do this before every practice? Tim asked. Don't you get tired of it? No, Michelle said. Everyone who does something good for the team should get a reward. Maybe we should ask Coach Belcher to change the team name so you could make something else, Tim said. Tim looked down at the lumpy glob of dough he was trying to cut. Do you think our team name could be changed to the Blobs? He asked. They both giggled. After hockey practice, I'm going to make something special out of Play-Doh, Michelle said. Something for Uncle Adam. I'll show you how to do it. Uncle Adam was their mom's brother. He lived in Montreal, but he was visiting Michelle's family for a few weeks. Michelle wanted to make him a Play-Doh present before he left. Hey, guys, Mom called from the next room. Let's get your stuff together and head out to the rink. Tim and Michelle pulled on their thick winter coats and followed Mom out the door. Michelle loved to be on the ice with her team. She tried hard to play well and practice the passes that Tim had shown her. But by the end of practice, Michelle was tired. Let's try one last shot, Tim called from across the ice. Michelle swung her hockey stick back and hit the puck. It skidded off, but not where she'd wanted it to go. Michelle watched as Jason swooped in, stopped the puck, and skated off with it. Now, Jason must really think I'm bad, she thought. Everyone skated toward the bench. I didn't do a good job today, Michelle said to Tim as he pulled off his helmet. Tim patted her shoulder. Nah, you did great. Coach waved his hand and motioned for the team to gather around. Nice job, everyone, he said. Almost everyone, muttered Jason. Michelle wondered if Jason was talking about her. Even though Tim said she had done well, she still felt like she let her team down. Today's MVP Maple Leaf goes to Tim. You were the real team player today. The whole team clapped. Michelle clapped extra hard. Before you all head out, I have a special announcement, Coach continued. Michelle paused as she was unlacing her skate. She looked up at him. One of my hockey teammates from college has just started working for the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Maple Leafs, cried Tim. Wow, maybe he'll get to meet Matt Sundin. Matt Sundin was the captain for the Maple Leafs. Guess what, Coach said? We might all get to meet Matt Sundin. The whole team started to cheer. Michelle's mouth fell open as she looked at Tim. Tim had all of Matt's posters on his jersey. Okay, listen up, Coach Boucher called to them. As he called them all to order, my friend said that if we can get tickets to next month's game at the Air Canada Centre, he'll set up a special meeting with Matt Sundin after the game. You all know the school's annual fundraising fair is coming up. This year we need to think about something extra special to do at the fair so we can raise enough money for those tickets. Tomorrow's Let's think about some possibilities. See you then. The next day, Michelle and Tim walked into the locker room where the team was meeting before practice. They sat down on one of the benches. Michelle set the plastic container holding the day's MVP Maple Leaf on her lap. All right, everyone, called Coach Boucher, his voice echoing through the room. Raise your hand if you want to see the Maple Leafs play. Michelle threw her hand into the air. All of her teammates were waving their arms too. Coach Boucher smiled and clapped his hands together. Great, he said. I figured out that we need to raise $300 to buy tickets for all of us to see the game. $300, Tim cried. I know that sounds like a lot, continued Coach Boucher, but you're a determined team if I've ever seen one. How do you think we can raise the money? The room was quiet. Money, Michelle thought. How can we raise money? A bake sale could work, Mike said. The baseball team does that every year, said Jason. That's not cool enough. But we need to do something really special, said Jason. We need to make everyone at the fair want to come to our booth. Hey, Tim cried. I know what we can do. Everyone in the room turned around to face him. Michelle saw that Tim was staring at the container she held. The maple leaf she had made showed through the plastic. Can I hold up your maple leaf? Tim asked. Sure, Michelle said. She wondered what Tim had figured out. Tim set the maple leaf in the palm of his hand. Then he held it up for everyone to see. We could have a booth where people make stuff out of Play-Doh, just like Michelle does. We could make all kinds of shapes, even animals and plants. Yeah, Andrew said, we could cut out stars and trees and tigers. Coach Boucher nodded. I really like this idea. Michelle, you're the one who knows a lot about sculpting. What do you think? Michelle felt her heart beating fast. She looked around at her teammates and then at Coach Boucher. Making the dough is the fun part, Michelle said. Can we teach people how to do that too? Michelle's right, said Tim. We should let people make the dough. If we write down the directions, everyone can do it. What do you think, team? Asked Coach Boucher. Michelle looked around the room and saw the team nodding. Jason was staring down at the floor. Is he mad? Michelle wondered. Finally, she looked back to see what Coach had to say. I agree, this is a great idea, he said. Michelle, do you think you and Tim can come up with a plan for how we can do this? Michelle nodded. Even though her mouth felt dry and her palms sweaty, no one outside of her family ever asked Michelle to do really important things. Okay, then, let's get on the ice. Next week, when we meet again, we'll find out what Michelle and Tim have figured out, said Coach. Tim and me, Michelle thought. I always have to get help from Tim, but I'm good at art all by myself. Before Michelle could think about working on her own anymore, she noticed Jason talking to Tim. Following directions to make Play-Doh, Jason asked. No one's going to want to read directions. That's not fun. I've done it before, said Tim. It is fun, you'll see. Well, you better help her out, Jason said. The team really needs the money. He's right, Michelle thought. I need to do a great job, but I want to do this on my own. After practice, Michelle and Tim saw Mom's big green station wagon in front of the school. Michelle grabbed her bag and ran to the car. She could hear Tim's bag bumping against his side as he jogged behind her. As she got closer to the car, she could see it wasn't Mom who was there to pick them up. Uncle Adam, Michelle cried, sliding into the back seat. Guess what? We're going to see Matt Sundin. No kidding, said Uncle Adam. How did you manage that? Michelle and Tim explained what Coach Boucher had told them and the plan they'd come up with to raise the money for the team. That's great, Uncle Adam, Uncle Adam said. Michelle, you're always showing me ways to make even complicated things easy. I'm sure you can show everyone on your team what to do. My dough never comes out as well as Michelle's, Tim said. I'm just not good at art stuff. Don't say that, Michelle. You can be good at it. There are lots of steps you have to do. You have to follow the recipe, then make the shapes. This whole thing sounds like a great project, said Uncle Adam. It reminds me of what I do for my work. Sometimes in my job I use steps and directions that are a lot like recipes. We just have different names for them. We call them processes. What's the difference? Asked Tim. Good question, said Uncle Adam. Usually when people use the word recipe, they're talking about all the steps and ingredients you need to make some type of food. A process can be the materials and directions needed to make all kinds of different things. Things like my Play-Doh, maple leaves, asked Michelle. Sure, said Uncle Adam. I design lots of processes for my job. Did you two know I'm a chemical engineer? That's Uncle Adam. What's that? Asked Michelle. Is it like being a scientist? Asked Tim. Do you wear a white lab coat and work with stuff in test tubes? Sometimes I do work with test tubes, said Uncle Adam, but I'm not a scientist. Chemical engineers use what we know about chemistry and math, plus some creativity to solve problems and create new things. I've worked on lots of cool problems in my job, like helping design perfumes that smell a certain way and designing ways to make better paint for artists. Paint? Michelle asked. I use paint in my art class all the time. I'm sure you can help me with the Play-Doh. I have an idea, said Uncle Adam. How about if the three of us work on this Play-Doh process project when we get home? Michelle was quiet. She shook her head no and looked over at Tim. Uncle Adam can help me, she said, but I want to show the team all by myself. Tim held up his hand and gave Michelle a high five. That's a good idea, said Tim. I know you can do it. I can't wait to see what you come up with. And ladies and gentlemen, take a break and sit down and join me for part 2.